May I ask who I have with me here today?
So my name's Anissa Labrador,
Labrador, like,
like the
oh,
dog.
you probably heard that a million
A
times,
million
huh?
times. I'm very loyal, and I love to stick my head out the window and get the air on my face.
That's very cute. Well, Anissa, what is it you do?
So I am a residential interior designer.
Residential interior designer,
Yes.
and you go by your name, or what's the name of your company?
It is Home Bliss Interiors.
Home Bliss Interiors. I like bliss.
Yes, I do too. And that is my goal, is to create your version of bliss in your home.
And how did you get started into interior design, if you don't mind me asking?
Great question. So I started my interior design business in 2020. That came as a result of ending my career in education.
Education.
So I went to school to be an elementary education teacher. I was in the public school and then went into private schools. I had a 25-year run in education.
Wow.
I left the classroom probably about 2010, after many years of teaching children and all the fun and challenge and anxiety that comes with that.
Extra
Really
hard work.
very hard. Loved every minute of it, but felt like I wanted to grow a little bit further. And so I was tapped to become the technology coordinator for K through 12 teachers on our campus. It was an independent private school. And we had a 3-year program to adopt technology. So iPads were coming, and it was my job to prepare the teachers for that and do tons of intensive training and in preparation for the students to get iPads in the 3rd year, and support them in any way that I could and be that liaison between the classroom teachers and the technology department. And I was like the mediator between the two. So I loved that career. I loved that change into that role. In 2015, I pivoted even further and I left the brick and mortar school and I worked with a consulting team of technology trainers. And that gave me the opportunity to travel around the country working with impoverished middle schools under a federal grant. Um, Loved the opportunity to travel, get on an airplane, book a hotel,
I've always dreamt of that.
Yes, it was great until it wasn't, because as we all experienced, the pandemic changed our lives in some ways. For some people, it changed it drastically, in other ways, smaller. But for me, it was a drastic change because I could no longer travel to do my job. And they shrunk our team from a dozen consultants down to 3 who were now going to work virtually. So I had already been contemplating, I've always loved interior design, even as a little girl, but my father always was very practical and said, oh, interior design is, for certain people and it's not for our kind of people. Um, you'll never make a career out of that. Yeah, he always thought like it was for very wealthy people and it would be hard to break into. And he was very practical and he said, you want to be a wife, you want to be a mom, being a teacher is the best option for you. And what do? When we're little, we look up to our parents and those things become seeds that grow. And that put me in that career path. But interior design was always a love and a hobby. Um, so for a few years, HGTV kind of opened the doors for interior
My wife
design.
watches all those. She loves those.
Yeah, and it's easy to love, right? And it helped to level the playing field for interior design, to know that you could do interior design on different levels. It doesn't always have to be high-end custom luxury, right? That's kind of what we all think of with interior design. HGTV helped us realize that you could be a DIYer and kind of figure it out yourself, or with a little bit of help from an interior designer, you could get it all to where your ideas all come together beautifully in the end, where sometimes you're not sure if the decisions that you're making are all going to look great together. So that interior designer partners with you, gives you that big vision first, then you make all of your decisions to create that big vision. And that's kind of like the backwards way of what most of us do. We buy a sofa for a family room. We buy a set of drapes. We change the flooring, different things like that. But we don't look at our home in a full cohesive way, so that when we're making decisions, we know it's going to look like this in the end.
Right? So you on a computer, do you design it on a computer or design on iPad, let's say?
Yeah. So technology, having that knowledge of technology has really helped me in my career, because I'm not afraid to try any new program or platform or learn anything that I need in order to serve my business. So basically what I do with my design, because I have 3 different services that I provide. So I call them restyle, reorganize, and rebuild. So in my restyle services, I work with the homeowner to help them achieve their vision for their home, for a room, whatever it is for their space. I use a program called Design Files, where I am able to create a room layout to optimize the way that room functions and flows and works for your family, whoever lives in your home.
They can see what it's gonna look like.
Correct. So they see what, it uses your exact measurements. I place furniture in a variety of ways until I get what I feel is to be the optimal room layout. So if it's a family room and we know a TV has to go on a certain wall, what are the soft furnishings that we're going to use, the dimensions that will fit the space, that will still allow for walking traffic patterns, to be accessed to different parts of the home. Sometimes people don't consider that, and they end up blocking off a room and making it awkward to enter a room or exit. So that's something to think about. So once I get that plan, then we go to work with sourcing the furniture. Something that's a little different about me is that I actually started my career as a hobby of purchasing antiques and vintage items.
I still antique. I love antiquing.
I love it. And so I have a little spot that I rent in a shop called Oh Whatever in South Tampa. Still have that today. And what that has done is it has allowed me to train my eye on furniture from all the decades, right? And I mix and match pieces from different decades and create beautiful rooms. And for a lot of us, it's not realistic for us to change all the furniture in our home, right? We have pieces that we love, that we've invested in, or pieces that we've inherited that are family heirlooms, and we want a way to incorporate them, but we don't know how. It always looks wrong. It doesn't match. It doesn't go with everything else in the room. So how can we make that piece work with more modern furnishings?
Do you take a picture of it and then insert it into the design they want to see that as well?
Absolutely.
There's a couple of lamps that my great grandmother gave me that I would like to, and I just haven't taken the time to put out.
Right. And those are pieces, that's like jewelry in a room. When you have, especially a pair of antique lamps, you can easily change the lamp shade to give it, to incorporate it into your space. Because sometimes those lamp shades, they yellow, they're torn, they just don't look great. And it just makes the piece look old. So give it a good cleaning, give it a nice new lampshade that goes with your room, whether it be modern or a little more traditional, and set those on a couple of accent tables. And now you have incorporated something that is meaningful, sentimental to you, that you are using in your room for a great purpose, which is light that is for task lighting.
I agree.
Right? I agree. Not just overhead lighting. So that's what I do that I believe sets me apart from a designer who doesn't want to take the time to incorporate those pieces. And the bottom line is, Um, the most money is made for an interior designer when new furniture is purchased, right?
Okay.
That's when a lot of times designers have a discount that they get for working with a vendor. They can give their client a little bit of a discount, but that's where their profit is, and that's where we make our money to run our business, right? So a lot of interior designers will try to eliminate as much personal furnishings as possible so they can replace them. So what I do is I can work on an hourly rate. I can, depending on the scope of work, I can customize a package that is realistic for a budget. Sometimes people just want a consultation. They want me to come to their home. I work I work alongside them for 2 to 3 hours, answer all of their questions, maybe give layout options for them to think about if they haven't thought about it before, give them ideas of what to do with a blank wall, paint selections.
And that doesn't, is it okay if someone comes out for us a few hours, you give them fantastic ideas, and then you never hear from them, that they run with it?
They run with it. That's all they needed. They just needed that little push, right? Just to say like, this is the recommendation. Now I can go out and I can shop and I can put it together myself. Maybe that's the only thing, that's in their budget, right? It's just for that advice.
And just give out your card because you're the one who inspired them. Correct. Make sure they pass it on.
Correct. And now we've built a relationship, and should they need something else, they can always call me. So that's one way I do it. The other service that I have is a little more intensive, where I can do a one-room makeover or a couple of room makeover using what you have. We kind of plan a little bit in the back. So we do the space planning. We use your furniture. I can buy maybe a couple of accent tables or a couple of things that are needed. And then we plan one day for a makeover in a day. I bring a crew with me to move furniture, to hang artwork, mirrors, drapery, whatever is needed.
Professionally.
Yep. And depending if it's one room, typically I can do it in a day. If it's a couple of rooms, it might take a little longer. But that's a mix of a lot of your furniture with some added pieces to create a cohesive look. That's one of my favorites because it's a quick makeover and the reaction is always amazing.
You get to see results almost instantly.
We do.
That's really cool.
We do. We even go so far as to taking an heirloom piece, and if the client is willing, we could even change the color with paint. There's very, very good paints. A lot of them are called chalk paint. They can give a piece of furniture a new life, and then it incorporates better into your home. And it actually looks like a new piece of furniture to you because it has a whole new look, but it's still that vintage piece that has sentimental value, and I love to do that. And then, of course, the signature package would be, I do everything from A to Z. We're ordering lots of new furniture, furnishings. Maybe you're doing custom window treatments, things that need a lot more time and coordination, ordering, sourcing, planning.
You've got your network set up.
Right. So we do everything from A to Z. And maybe it's for busy professionals that really want to have a home that is well put together. They just don't have the bandwidth. Maybe they're busy families. They're both spouses work outside the home and they just can't seem to get it together.
They just want you to do the whole thing and see what you come up with.
Correct. And it's important for them to have the home function optimally for the way that they're living in the home. They want to be able to entertain, and maybe right now they're a little embarrassed with the way their home looks and they don't want to invite, people outside their family into their home. Maybe they can't accommodate, a 6 or 8, person meal because they don't have a table that's large enough. Maybe they've taken spaces and used them, for example, as like a mudroom space, like right inside their entryway when it was supposed to be a breakfast nook. I just did that recently for a young couple with a family, and it was just kind of overflow space for them. Even though clearly it should have been a breakfast nook, they just needed it for, the stroller and, all of the backpacks and the shoes and all the things that you need to dump when you come in the door. And they said, we're tired of looking at this space this way. We can find another place for this. Can you help us make this a breakfast nook? So we shopped the table that was the right size, the number of seats that were appropriate for them with a couple of extras, a couple of little corner pieces so that they could store some items, a little bit of artwork, and a light fixture. And now when they walk in their home, they have this beautiful, inviting space where as a family, they can gather for meals where before they couldn't. Mm-hmm. And those meals are priceless when you're raising your family and you want a place to gather. So
do you find that people enjoy you posting the work that you've done, or do they want to keep it to themselves and say thank you, but it's mine, I don't want the world repairing?
Yeah.
Duplicate. Which one?
Yeah, it's all, personal preference.
Sure.
Some people are happy for me to show their rooms, but not their names or their faces.
Sure.
And some people don't want the before pictures to show.
They don't want to show the before.
They just want to show the after.
Good point.
So it's just personal preference. But it's part of my contract. I put that in as a little clause, and we kind of work that out when we're signing that contract as to what their preferences are.
So you also do you've done some stuff in the charity or the Foundation for Our Community?
Yeah. So I am new to Lakeland. I moved about 2022. So the first thing that we did was renovate our own house. We bought a 1962 ranch on Lake Gibson.
That's a 63.
There you go. Very similar.
Parker.
Yeah. So terrazzo floors throughout.
I got terrazzo floors.
Yes. Love it. And we were able to invest some money, and I did my own renovation, which was a lot of fun, and made it our own. So that took up a little bit of time in the beginning, but once I got my feet under me and I started networking in the community, meeting other business owners, meeting people through my church, I started meeting people who were doing amazing work within the community. And I want to not only plant seeds here, but I want them to grow. And a way to do that is to give back. So I have partnered with Take Heart. They are a what is it called? Delta, yes. So Delta goes to our church. A fair trade, that's what I meant. Fair trade products that they sell in their shop, and all the proceeds go towards villages in Africa for widows and orphans. Obviously, children are part of my passion. It's part of my life work, and so
underprivileged
kids, just children in general. If any way that I can support children or teachers as they're growing up, it takes a village to raise a child, and so if I can be part of that village for a family or two or 100, that's meaningful for me.
Yeah, they have a 5K every year.
Yes, so I'm on the planning committee for the 5K.
Oh, you are?
Yes, so September 28th, 2024. If any of the listeners are runners or they just want to come out and support us, come on out. The registration is up on the Take Heart website. We're looking for sponsors. We're looking for captains to bring teams of people that perhaps are doing fundraising within that team, that all the proceeds will go towards.
Yeah, we've supported them ourselves.
Awesome.
We provided all the water for the
fantastic. Oh, I remember your name coming up in our meetings. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that is fantastic.
Yeah.
And what was the website address?
It is home for my business, Home Bliss Interiors.com. Yep. And so I'm on Instagram, and I'm also on Facebook under the same name. And I actually, other than redecorating or restyling, I have 2 other services that I offer. So I'm kind of like the Swiss Army knife of design. In my Reorganize, I partner with a company called Art of Drawers, and I design custom organization for your existing kitchen and bathroom cabinets. And I also redesign pantries
Inside, when they open the
inside.
drawer and stuff? Oh,
Yes.
wow.
So when you open up those big base cabinets and it's nothing but space that you can't access very well unless you get on the
Okay.
floor, we have pull-out drawers that you can organize beautifully and put another pull-out drawer in the middle, making use of all that middle space that typically doesn't get
Yeah.
used. And we can, almost increase your organization space by 50%. And also access. None of us are getting younger. Sometimes it's hard to get on the floor and get
Bend
up.
over.
So, yep, and bending over depending on the day.
Mhm.
So, it's nice to be able to access all of your items in those lower cabinets much easier. But in addition to that, I've got solutions for overhead cabinets that are hard to reach, like above a microwave or above a fridge. Pantries that have wire shelving, everything kind of topples, on an awkward angle because they can't sit squarely on the shelves. We do great solutions for that as well. So we even have a hydraulic mixer lift that pulls out from under the cabinet and locks in place for your KitchenAid standing mixer or heavier appliance. You can use it in place and then just release it and tuck it
Can you
back in
mount? Could you mount one of those on my bed and put a coffee machine on it and just hit the button and the coffee machine comes up
Yes.
and you hit start and you got your coffee right there. That'd be cool.
You know what? If you can dream it, we can get it done.
That's a cool idea.
Yep, we even retrofit antique furniture with custom organization. So, there's really no limit to what I can design with your items, which is really fun.
Yeah.
After I design, an installer comes, they measure to the millimeter, product is ordered and installed typically within a day. And then we also do refacing of cabinets. So it's a great solution if someone can't or doesn't want to renovate and completely demo and then renovate their kitchen. So if they have an existing floor plan that they like with their cabinets and their cabinets are in good condition, refacing is a great solution. And it's typically about a third cheaper than a budget for doing it all over again, plus time. It takes maybe, depending on the amount of cabinets, maybe a day to 3 days to reface all of the cabinets. They get all new doors, and then the bases of the cabinets get wrapped in the same exact color that you choose. A lot of custom colors that we have. All new hardware is put on the doors, and then with the organization inside, you will feel like you have a brand new kitchen, but you haven't spent the money that it would have taken.
I can only imagine because
Yeah.
anything you can imagine is probably possible.
Correct. So it's great if for your own home, if you're moving into a home and you don't love the kitchen, and you want to make a little bit of an investment in it, it's a great solution. Property owners that maybe have rental properties, they need to spruce up the kitchen to be able to rent it. It's a great solution for that. And I love anything with design and I love organization. So if I can give you a place for everything so that everything can be in its place, I'm happy.
That's fantastic.
I am happy. Yeah.
And that was the third service?
That's the second. So then the third is I partner with custom home builders when they don't have a designer or a design center. And typically custom home builders will ask their homeowners, their future homeowners, before they build to make all their selections. And that can be an overwhelming process if you are not a designer, if you don't have the time, if you don't know where to shop, if you don't know how to stay on budget, because there are allowances built into the price of your home for tile, for mirrors, for cabinets, for countertops, for flooring.
I can't imagine. That's just
plumbing, yes, light fixtures, right? So where do you begin if you've never done that before? It can be, very nerve-wracking. You could go over budget very easily. You may not buy the right items for the space, and it doesn't look good when you put them all together. So I assist the homeowners with that process. So typically the custom home builder and I have a contract together. So I get paid from the custom home builder. That way the homeowner has my services to use for those selections. And then if they want help with extras like architectural trim, accent walls, custom built-ins, better organization for their cabinets, like all those things.
You are talking Japanese to me. That is
It's a
it's a
lot.
good thing it's professional.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fun is the most fun is that I absolutely love all three of these services. And they really do, they're really mutually beneficial because once I build a relationship with someone, hopefully in the future, if they have another project, they would call me for that project or they would refer me to a friend. And that's really um, what my goal is for Home Bliss Interiors is for people to get to know me. Um, I am someone that prides herself on relationships, on helping. That's been the cornerstone of my career from the time I started, and partnering with people to really create the home that they want to live in, entertain in, raise their families, empty nest in, age in place, all of those things, and do it to the best of their budget will allow. And I can provide them services for each of those stages.
That is wonderful. That is absolutely wonderful. And
Thank you.
real estate agents, stuff like that, they could probably use that as well.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. So custom home builders, property managers, anyone that does services within the home. So even like cleaning services, they build relationships with their clients. Sometimes they know that they have a project in mind. So that would be a natural reference for my business. Also mortgage brokers, they're working with people who are moving into the area, and that's especially, when you moved from another city or another state or another country and
All starting over.
and you're starting over again, it's hard to know where to source all the items that you need for your home. Um, Not only do I know the area retailers very well, and all building supplies and flooring and all of that, but I also have trade accounts with, excuse me, with vendors that you would see at North High Point, North Carolina. So I attended the spring market where all of the wholesalers set up showrooms and they invite designers and buyers and anybody within the trade to come and see their items and build accounts with them. So I can source furniture, decor, lighting, anything on a level of good, better, or best. So depending on what your budget is, I can point you in the right direction.
And is there an initial consultation fee or free or?
Yeah, so what I start with when you contact me either through my website or we've been referred to one another, what we would do is set up a discovery call. And in that call, I would find out what it is you have in mind. If I'm able to provide those services for you, I can give you an idea of um, approximate cost, if it's going to be hourly or if it's going to be by the scope of work. And then if agreed, then we would do a paid consultation. And like I said earlier, sometimes that's all someone needs is a jumping off point to complete their project. So it is a paid consultation. I charge $3.95 and it's typically a 3-hour consultation. I give you all my best advice. If you want to continue on with one of my other services, then we would sign a contract and away we go.
So the discovery call, just give you a call, have the conversation.
Correct.
And find out exactly where they want to go with it.
Exactly. Tell me all your dreams and wishes.
Home Bliss Interiors?
Home Bliss Interiors. Yes.
Wow.
Making your home your version of sheer bliss.
Is there anything else? That's fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
I don't think I could provide another service. I don't have that much time. That's about it.
Well, Anissa, thank you so much for your time sharing that. Give you a call.
I appreciate that.
I want to thank Coash for letting me use this beautiful room as well.
Absolutely. It is amazing here. And if I could work here every day, I absolutely would. I do drop in as often as I can.
Yeah, Coash is really, really cool. I like it a lot.
Yep.